Right, okay. Do you want to go?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Let's go for a couple of rounds, you big bitch. Hello and welcome back to Tripod Talk, the official podcast of What Pictures, where we talk anything and everything about news. My name's Matt Lidster. With me, it's not even to my left anymore because we're missing a downed soldier this week. Sophie has had some minor surgery, but she's recovering and we'll be getting back to normal schedule soon because everything's a bit mess because of Christmas. But I'm Matt Lidster, and in front of me is Adil Anwar.
Hiya.
Hiya. And what are we doing this week?
We're going to talk about 2017 in general in film, talk about some films that are probably fairly crap, some films that are good. I guess we'll have a bit more of a general discussion than we usually do, just about the year's films.
Yeah, pretty much. No film news, because...
It's Christmas, nothing's been happening.
Yeah. How was your Christmas?
It's been nice, actually. It's been relaxed.
Yeah.
Just hoping it didn't go quickly, so I wouldn't be back at work quick, and it has stretched out a bit, which is good. How about yours?
Are you back next week?
Tuesday. Not
Yeah,
much
same.
anyway. Oh well.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was quiet, but...
Yeah.
It was mainly because I was ill as well, and then role reversal for New Year's, and then Soph's been ill.
Yeah.
Ill, technically, but...
I went to the folks and just got fed a hell lot. Had like 2 takeaways a day, it felt like, for like a week. So I'm feeling very
How long did you stay there?
I was there for like 5, maybe just less than a week.
Oh, yeah.
Went alright, actually.
Yeah.
But that's cool. It's been a nice little Christmas.
Sweet. So you feel like rejuvenated, and then you
Yeah.
go back into like your own house.
Yeah, and then you appreciate the freedoms of your own house a bit more
Oh,
once
yeah.
you've been back at home.
Yeah.
Just to be able to kind of have your own space.
Oh yeah, no, we went back for about a couple of hours on Boxing Day, and I was just like, I'm ready to go home now.
Everyone should probably have to do that, actually, just for like a week of every 6 months, go and spend some time with your parents just to make you appreciate having your own space again.
True. Though we did it quite quickly because we found a place pretty quickly straight after leaving uni. Like, did you go back home after uni?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, while I was.
How long for? Was that just until like a couple of months ago?
It was a good amount of time actually. It's probably like over 6 months, and then while I was working and doing my masters for a bit, but it was all right because I was kind of busy, so it wasn't as bad.
I was thinking about doing a masters. I keep flip flopping between the two. I don't know why I'm talking about it, but it's mainly just because I didn't want to. Well, I did want to go back to work because I knew this is what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I managed to actually build it into something now because I was just waiting for uni to finish. But at the same time, I can think like more student finance.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think a
well.
lot of people just rush into the masters because they're not ready for the real world as well, and it's like, is it actually going to aid you in what you're trying to do, or is it just going to be another year of not doing anything and something that's not too useful? So I do think it's probably best nowadays taking a bit of time, get yourself out there, and then if you're ready to do it, you'll go back to it.
Because that's what I did
your
about
own
uni, because I gave it a year, and I was like, because I dropped out of sixth form, and I was just like, I'm ready to do this, and then I didn't want to work, so I was like, I'll just go to uni instead.
Yeah, but you actually
But then by the time that I'd got halfway through uni, I was like, I'm ready to do this now, this is like what I want to do.
Yeah. Too many people see it as just a mandatory path when it's like you can just take a second and think, do I actually want to do this? Because it is a time and a cost commitment and everything.
Plus, I mainly just wanted to, because I can study films, so I can just watch a load of films, and I've got more to talk about in a thesis, but I did well in my dissertation. I tell you what my dissertation was about, I can't remember.
You may have done, yeah. Was
It's
it
actually
about
film related.
exploitation thing?
Yeah, for it. Well, it's talking about
okay.
black stereotypes throughout history and how it's technically gotten worse. Like, even though it was like the horrible stereotypes that were back in the 1900s and stuff, but just the way that the context behind it now and how it works in terms of what the message is behind it, rather than just, you know, civilization not really progressing as much as it has been now. The fact that they're still there makes it worse technically, and that's what I tried to prove. Which
using film, by the way.
Using film, which brings it back actually to film, funnily enough. But so I looked at like early films, like silent films and stuff from the early 1900s when it was kind of booming up that way. Then went straight to blaxploitation in the 70s, and then just kind of looked at a couple of films from like the last 7 years.
In those early films, was it actually black actors, or did it tend to be like blackface type stuff going on?
It was blackface for like a good 30 years.
Well, people forget how, like, even that Audrey Hepburn film has got the Mickey Rooney playing like a Chinese guy with it. Like, it's not far, we're not far gone from the whole blackface.
Oh yeah, no, not at all. But yeah, because there's even just now actually, because I remember bringing this up, especially with a couple of other essays I did as well. It talks about Johnny Depp playing Redface as playing Tonto in The Lone Ranger. That was only 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
Well, even in like going to Native Americans and Jerry, that's a weird one because if you think about Suicide Squad, it was a big deal that they had the first ever Native American hero, and like they did try to push it a bit during the lead up to the film, that they had this legitimate Native American actor playing the character. It's going to be the first time there's been like a superhero who's Native American, and then in the film he's in there for all of 8 minutes and gets killed almost immediately. And it's just like, okay, so you're trying to pat yourself on the back, but you're not doing the actual, you've not done anything to deserve that.
That's weird thinking that was only last year. But thinking about films this year.
Segue, Matt's on it.
Brilliant.
New Year's resolution is better segues.
Yeah, pretty much. Just to be a better host and to speak better, because that was not a good sentence.
It's fine. Matt's
alright, my laptop cut out. But no, what we're going to go through. Do you want to go through it like through the year? Like notable films that I kind of got throughout.
Yeah, that's cool actually. If you just throw them out, if we've got something to say, we will. Otherwise, we'll just be like, we can brush over the ones we did see, pretend we did.
Okay, so these are the ones that I kind of brought up that were notable to me, even though I didn't see some of them. I just know they were some of the biggest films of the year. So we started off in January 2017 with Get Out.
Wow. Okay. See, I would not have guessed that came out in January because that film has definitely. So you know they try to release films around award seasons or whatever to keep them in the consciousness. That film has been very publicly like prevalent in the discussion, even though it is now effectively a full year old.
Okay, no, sorry, I did fuck up. I thought it was January. It's not. I thought I better just double check before I did that. I'm not going to cut this out. I messed up. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
It was actually March that it came out.
Still very little distinguishing. My point still stands.
It was
mainly a long time ago.
No, it was mainly because I thought if it came out in January, it must have been done for the Oscars this year, but it hasn't.
Yeah.
So I think it's
plus
for the next Oscars.
I think it gets confused with our release dates and American release dates and stuff because some films it's like 6 months earlier. And some films it's like a week and a half, so you can't really tell.
Yeah, I think the film that I was thinking about was Moonlight because that got into the Oscars this year.
Yeah, it did because it won this year, didn't it?
So that's the one I was thinking of, which...
It won for 17.
Yeah.
And Get Out's going to be for 18, is that what we're saying?
Well, I'm hoping. Because it was a really good film. It's just the fact that it was brought out so early. Because usually, like you say, they bring out films that are nominated for Oscars around this time of the year and like around January as well, so it's fresher in the minds of the people who are actually voting for it. But we'll talk about Get Out in a minute. Beauty and the Beast, February.
I didn't see that.
I did not see that either.
I know it wasn't overwhelmingly positively received, was it?
I don't think it was just by people, like just some people, because you know it's just like an adaptation thing. You know, most people are like, oh, that's not what it was like in this, or it wasn't like in that. However, it did make over $1 billion.
Jesus.
And people were very kind of happy with it. I think last time I saw it was in the top 10 grossing films of all time, but that might have gone down since.
Yeah. I still though, I wouldn't have guessed that. Disney have got such a... Disney are starting, I mean with the recent purchase as well, they're starting to totally lock up the whole blockbuster scene.
Oh, it is mental.
It's going to be Monopoly level soon.
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast came in at 10th, the 10th biggest film in the world.
I can't imagine many people would guess that either.
I know, yeah, definitely. And only $1.2 billion made there.
Wow.
Which...
Also, I can't imagine the budget will have been like, do you know when something like an Avatar or a Titanic, you know, the budget's colossal?
Oh yeah,
I can't imagine Beauty and the Beast is as... Like, obviously there's a bit of CGI and stuff, but nowhere near as kind of like extensive as a level as...
It was 160 million.
Which is... It seems like a lot, but it's not the most by the standards.
Oh yeah, no, the biggest film, especially this year, which we'll talk about later on, was Justice League. Oh yeah. 300 million.
Jesus.
It eventually came to, but that's not included. No one kind of thinks about your marketing as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is usually double what your actual budget is to make the film itself.
Nowadays.
So this film would have probably been made for just probably under about 350 million.
It's interesting.
And then it makes 1.2 billion. Which, considering, like you say, it wasn't that well received.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot
of people who did like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a strange one because they've been doing a lot of these. I was just about to say maybe this will start a whole new fairy tales, but like loads of those films being made. But they already kind of have. Like, there's been a Snow White one. Can you think of any others, like whatever recently?
Not within the same, because that's supposed to be something else. Because I think Snow White is up for like a public domain thing.
Oh, do you think is that not Disney owned Snow White?
I don't think it is, just because the way that it was done.
I'm just curious, like whether do you know, like so like Iron Man was big, and then there was like I do attribute a lot of the I don't know whether it is Iron Man, but there was a certain superhero film, and then a lot of them came along once that one made money.
Yeah, Iron Man started off the MCU.
Exactly, yeah, and it made money, it was popular, so that kind of like really sparked the whole comic book revolution.
Oh,
so
yeah.
maybe this will make as much money as it has. In the next few years, we're going to see a lot more of those kind of fairy tales, just with actors. I mean, because I don't really think there's nothing really too spectacular to say about this film.
No.
None of the actors got any recognition. The director don't know who directed it. I can't really think of anything major about it.
Bill Condon, and I've never heard that name before.
No idea.
Also did Mr. Holmes, which was that Ian McKellen one.
Yeah, which I didn't see, but I am curious about.
Also did Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 1 and Part 2.
Okay, so clearly he's just a... maybe they had him in as kind of just... Because I think with Disney almost, the director's more of like management than even... Because other people do the storyboarding and other people do the animation and stuff, so it's like...
Oh, yeah.
So I think maybe they're more just like an overall team manager type aspect than a normal director.
Yeah, which I think that's what Marvel tried to do when they, like you say, first brought out Iron Man. Then they had like a couple of people to bring their vision to life. But now they're starting to branch out a bit more with like Taika Waititi with Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah,
which we'll speak about later on as well.
Yeah.
But don't really have much to say about that.
No, I'm not sure I'll be talked about it for that.
But yeah, no. So going into March, which is actually a big year, Get Out, which we can talk about properly now.
Yeah.
That is probably one of my favourite films of this year.
Definitely up there.
Which feels bad because like it was such a long time ago since I've seen it.
I know, it barely feels like this year anymore, but especially when I was first hearing about it. But that is one of those films where the whole internet hype thing, sometimes I see all that and I get a bit nervous about like, is it actually going to be any good? But this one did kind of lead up to me. Like even with the internet hype, do you remember when this is jumping about a lot?
Oh,
do you know when the recent Star Wars came out? The first articles you saw was like, first reviewers say Star Wars is stunning, mind blowing, whatever.
Yeah.
But like they made it out, it was the next coming of cinema. And then if you did put too much stock in that, then I can see how when you actually watch the film you'd be a little bit disappointed.
Oh yeah.
Which is why I'm really careful not to jump on like media and news hype. But with Get Out, it lived up to the expectations for me.
Oh, definitely.
Like it did a really good. It made its social point, and it was a very watchable film, really well acted and directed, and I just thought it was it's probably, I don't know. I'm thinking about it. It'll have to take something impressive to take the best film of the year. From that, for me.
I'm putting it as a contender.
Yeah, although I'm thinking about it, there are other things that came out this year which are pretty good.
I'm going to reserve that in my top 5. Top 3 or top 5?
I'm giving it top 3, definitely. You might want to give it top 5.
I was going to say if we battle out at the end, we kind of get a handful.
Oh, I see,
and then we try and throw the gauntlet on
Alright, cool. This is interesting. Let's see how this goes.
I don't know how this is going to go. I just made it up, but okay. What else came out in March? Logan.
Yeah, that's another one of my probable top 3s. I think it has to be top 3 actually.
Oh wow, okay.
Well, honestly, I've realised with Logan, I think the thing that I was that big a fan of it with is, well, for one thing, the whole film was really good, but I was really impressed with the fact that the exit for Wolverine, the way he dies at the end of the film, no spoilers, but it really did, it's really hard for a film to meet expectations with the end, with the character and with the end of the story and stuff. And for me, it was just a really perfect ending, and it did a really good job of the emotional level and like giving him a fitting ending. So I just think the fact that they pulled that off alone makes it like an incredible one.
I think it's more because it's such a fish out of water. Because nowadays, every single comic book film, or most kind of films, are always trying to build onto the next one.
Yeah, exactly.
And the next one, and the next one. It's like, building up that franchise and whatever. And this one just went, nope, it's done. This is it. enjoy it as it is.
Well, I think I was talking to you more recently, and you said the door's been open for him to act in another film as Wolverine that's coming out in the future, just in a different direction, right?
Yeah,
And I was super dismayed about that. Sorry, if you could explain.
Oh yeah, no, it's because recently Disney bought the rights to all the Fox films, which means and most of what Fox kind of distributes. So now they have the rights to make Fantastic Four films and X-Men films and Deadpool films, even though it's technically part of it. Well, not really. But yeah, so they could bring the character back in a certain way, which I think they will definitely bring the character back. They just won't bring Hugh Jackman back because it's like that's his defining thing.
Yeah.
Like, let that be. I don't know what they're going to do with the continuity, but that's more of a nerd discussion for me.
Yeah.
So-
No, yeah. I really hope they don't fuck with Hugh Jackman. I just don't want to bring him back. I just think it's a miracle to get a good ending for a character in a film that can absolutely make films how they disappear and stuff. Like, thinking even historically, all the films that people talk about as like spectacular all have good character exits. Like Casablanca and probably I think Citizen Kane, which I haven't seen, but it's like
no.
I think a lot of the kind of because the film can be amazing, but if it ends bad, then that's just going to ruin it for you.
Like most films we've kind of seen this year.
Yeah, so that's my real credit to Logan is it pulls it all together really well at the end, and it's got a really good emotional level.
It's just that final bit for me because it's like she puts the X downwards, so it's like a proper X
exactly
rather than a
that
cross.
Yeah,
and it's just as it just zooms in a little bit because everyone's kind of expecting like a rock to fall, like in Batman vs Superman. When he's kind of dead, but he's technically alive, and you know that because like the dirt rises up, and you're expecting that one moment. And it just doesn't happen. Then you see the X as well. I just got.
See, I think by that point I understood that. Like, I understand his mentality enough to know that they're not going to bring him back because that's not what he wants. Like, this is a merciful ending and a respectful ending for your character, and let him just kind of die. And also, like as a metaphor, the cross going to the X-Men thing there's a lot to talk about. Like, you can imagine some douchey English student talking for like doing an essay on it, but that's a really good piece of imagery alone on like how heroes are the new like religious icons and stuff like that. Like, people put their kids now put their faith in Superman and Iron Man rather than Jesus and all that kind of stuff.
I rather would.
And they're more relatable or whatever. But I don't know. I just thought that's up there as well. That's gonna make my top 3 like interesting, I think.
Also, just with kind of going back to X-Men, when it was first made back in 2000, everyone was up in rage about the fact that Hugh Jackman was cast as just like all the other people who everyone's like, oh no, he's terrible, and then he's actually really good in the role. Yeah, like he was like one of the first ones in comic book history. Wasn't
he like a kind of musical theatre actor in Australia? Like, he'd done a couple of things here, but he really wasn't a name.
Oh yeah,
he's trained in musical theatre. And it was just, think about what kind of a curveball that is to have suddenly this guy. Like, so it was a miracle. Like, whoever's idea that was has done a special thing. But again, I just think that's why you find he's such a charismatic person to watch, Hugh Jackman. I think that's all they did. They just found a guy who was that kind of.
Well, he wasn't even the first choice.
He could pull it off.
It was someone else. I can't remember who it was, but he stepped down, and then they were like, okay, well, it's going to go to this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Hugh Jackman was like, all right, I'll do it.
Yeah. First big film.
But yeah. Other films that came out in March, Kong, Skull Island.
Didn't see.
I didn't see either, but it was a good cast.
I don't know if this is just me, and this might be super controversial, because I've never thought this before until right now, but something about Tom Hiddleston, I'm just not buying. Like, the chop.
In what way?
I just think he's got everything, and I just don't trust it. He seems like a machine made to, like, he's good at the interviews. He's kind of like, he's good looking, obviously, but in like a way that people, sometimes you get like a movement against like your Brad Pitts and stuff, because it's like,
well, like Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, I don't know, it just feels like he's created by like a marketing machine more than an actual person to me.
Especially the way that he's so cultured. I can kind of get what you mean, where he talks about his favourite plays and stuff, rather than other people just talking about their favourite food.
Yeah,
but
I'd like to see him in a real gritty role. I can't think of anything.
I'd like to see him as the new James Bond.
Maybe, if they keep going in the direction they're going now. But there's a lot of other Bonds I'd prefer than him. I'd still rather go Idris. As a Bond.
I like that.
I would kick Tom Hiddleston to the curb for that, because I just think that'd be interesting.
See, I've always wanted Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy would be great as well.
Yeah.
Although he'd have to, I don't know, do you know the size he is now, like Wade Bear, like Tom Hardy. Would you want him like that, or do you want him to kind of like slim down a bit? I know that's purely aesthetic. But it would just be a different thing for
That'd
him.
be quite fun to see a big.
That's what I mean, like a big, like Stenhead looking Bond. How weird would that be?
No one would mess with him.
That's what I mean. It's interesting. But then I think as well, like the whole point of Bond is that he's kind of like this slim, suave.
Yeah, he's just like an
he looks like he's just like a business guy who works for the consulate or something. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how they do that. I think they're kind of pushing for a female or a racial or like a black one, but I don't know who actress wise I could push to do that.
There was talk.
People talking Naomi Harris, who
Oh yeah.
who by the way is incredible in Moonlight as well.
Mm.
And I don't know if you've seen Moonlight, but we're jumping ahead again. But
No.
she plays like a drug addicted kid's mum in that.
Oh yeah.
And she's super American gang mum, and she pulls it off incredibly. And it's even more impressive because she was meant to be here for like 3 weeks or something to film her scenes, but she had like a visa issue, so I think she was only here for she was only at the set for like 3 or 5 days. So they just had to condense all of her parts down, and she had to absolutely power through it and didn't have any of the time to prepare or anything like that.
Wow.
So in terms of like working talented actresses out there, she's absolutely up there. She hasn't had that much to do.
Oh. I definitely want to see that film. It's on my watch list on Amazon at the moment because I never got round to actually watching it when it first came out.
It's emotional. But it was for me.
Do you want to tell that story?
No,
All right, we'll leave the story. But no, another one. I can't remember if it was just like a rumor thing or they were actually talking about hiring someone. This is who they were speaking about. But Emily Blunt as a female Bond.
I can see that. I like Emily Blunt, and she has done the whole like. She's kind of gone action a fair bit recently, hasn't she? With like the Live, Die, Repeat film, and was it Edge of Tomorrow?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
That's the one. And she's done another action film. She did like she did the Sicario as well.
Oh yeah.
So she is pushing a lot into action. So I could buy that. She's very good, and she's English as well.
Yeah, very British.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that one could work. I'm trying to think of other people.
But isn't Daniel Craig signed on for the next one anyway?
Yeah.
They sent him a massive paycheck and he said fine, even though
Was it
it's
15
destroying
million
his body.
at the end of it?
I think it might be probably more than that, knowing the fact, well, probably, something like
Absolutely
that.
mental. But
Fair play to
he
him.
does play a good Bond.
Yeah.
Though I still need to see Spectre.
Oh, have you not seen it yet?
No, though I know the twist.
I don't remember the twist.
No, I'm not going to tell you the twist.
Yeah, it's not the twist.
Moving on to, because I couldn't find anything for April.
Shit.
May. Shit month indeed. We had Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I thought it was really good. Were you the one who said it was?
I didn't really
You didn't
think
like
it was
that
that
much,
great.
yeah.
No.
How come?
I don't know whether it was that like. Maybe I was a bit fatigued. Like the first one was it seemed like such a breath of fresh air, like the energy of it, and it was just so fun and goofy and kind of like jokey and like throwbacky. But I just for this one, I don't know. It just felt a bit. I don't know whether it felt a bit forced for me or the storyline felt a bit. It felt a bit kind of excessive, but I didn't really buy into it as much as I did the first one. It could have just been I was in the wrong mood when I saw it. If I watched it again, I'd love it. But
Yeah.
first viewing, it didn't hold it for me as much as the first
Fair
one.
enough. No, I really enjoyed it. I just liked the way that the theme kind of played out, because it was more of a personal story James Gunn wrote for it. So they were like, it's because it was something he was kind of passionate about as well. So you can kind of see that in the way that it was done, at least to me personally. But I thought it kind of kept up with the same sort of goofiness.
It did have a
like,
similar energy.
Like
yeah.
specific gags did work like quite well. Like I remember the Baby Groot. They
Baby
keeps
Groot
coming
was
back
great.
with different stuff.
Yeah, that was very
That got me. That was really fun. I can see some bits were a bit of hit and miss, but robot prostitutes. I remember that they brought that to Disney. That was fun.
Oh yeah. Oh, I didn't even notice
Stallone in a film, which was
that was weird.
also Miley Cyrus in a weird kind of old cameo thing.
Was she in Guardians of the Galaxy?
That is right at the end. It was a post-credit scene, and it was Stallone's crew. And
Was she one of the crew?
Yeah, she was one of the crew.
I've watched. I know the scene you're talking about. I don't remember.
Yeah, she was like a
anything in it.
voiceover character.
Oh, fair enough.
But yeah, because James Gunn was talking about whether that was supposed to be like a spin-off film in itself, because they're like another group. I can't remember the name. Maybe they're the Ravagers or something.
Yeah.
Because I know the group is the Ravagers, or whether the actual team name is the Ravagers. But, yeah, so that was a bit weird. But I like the way they were building different ties within the cinematic universe itself. Even though we talk about we like standalone films like Logan,
Yeah.
but I also like the way that certain films like this kind of interweave other stuff in. So like the creation of Adam Warlock, like most people won't know that character, but he's a massive player in the cinematic universe. Like, yeah, I'm going into nerd mode, but he was created in that film, which most people wouldn't really get. And
I don't
it's
even remember it happening. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the gold people.
See, this is the thing. Is like maybe I watched it in the wrong head. It feels like I've watched a lot of films this year. Not much has really distinguished itself in my brain. But
yeah, no, he was created. So like, I like the way that all.
And
that
that's going to pay off in the future. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
but Kurt Russell. I didn't think some of the performances was like. I thought Dave Bautista's performance was good because he got a bit more of a
fantastic.
role.
Yeah. He's probably my favourite part of those films.
Yeah.
he's really funny. Like genuinely really funny.
I like the new dynamics that were made as well. Like Rocket and Yondu were together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I thought it was quite a fun film. Yeah, I wouldn't put it in my top. I wouldn't put it in my top 3. I'd put it in my top 5. I think.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll come back to it. We'll see if it shows up.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Alien Covenant
didn't see.
Came out as well. I didn't see that either.
I think I would have done if I'd have heard much good about it, but I didn't. So I was just like, why bother? Just
Pretty much.
Another disappointing alien film.
Mainly because like the trailer looked good. The trailer looked like it should have done. Like for the last one,
Prometheus.
Prometheus, yeah. Because they just kind of sidestepped from everything that it was before. I was like, okay, and I went to go see that, and it was terrible, like in my opinion. And then it didn't really do much to see this, even though it was an okay film. That's what I got from most reviews and stuff. It's okay.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
okay from an alien film.
Yeah, exactly. And do you know like what's actually happening in that storyline now?
No.
Basically, the whole Alien franchise is basically like Ridley Scott is basically saying we're going to go away from the aliens now. We're going to talk about the AI. So the whole point of Alien is now not aliens anymore.
Oh.
Well, that's what it's kind of building towards, and it's like,
well,
you've got something there.
Like 6 of them written. Oh no, that's Avatar, isn't it?
That's James Cameron.
James Cameron, yeah.
Ridley Scott's talking about how he wants to focus more on the AI within the within that universe now. And it's like you've got the aliens. Actually, use the aliens that are the drawing point of the franchise Alien.
See, the problem is, I think he's realised that like AI and technology and the kind of like dystopian future stuff with technology is kind of big right now. Like it's what's kind of like Black Mirror and stuff. It's what people are interested in right now. So clearly, I think he just kind of like he's finding it interesting. He wants to jump on that, but you don't need to crowbar an already kind of like storied franchise into that direction just because it's what people are talking about.
I'd rather him just kind of make his own other franchise about AIs.
Yeah. Or with Alien, I don't even know if with Alien just go back to old school to the really just crazy action shock.
Which apparently some of it was in Covenant, but
Prometheus felt like kind of weird, like thudding. It was just really slow paced, weird energy to it, and I just wasn't
awful. I went to go watch in the cinema just halfway through. Like, really? Where's this going? What is this? It
was annoying as well because it's like you see the cast and you're like, okay, and you hear like initial reaction, you see pictures, you see trailers, and you're like, this might be good. You get yourself all excited.
We're back!
And then it's a good one. And then you go in there and you're just like, oh.
And then you get that weird alien hybrid right at the end of the film. It's just like, literally for a second. And you're like, okay, well, they fucked it.
Yeah. No, it's weird. It was a weird one.
Shall we move on to June? We start going into more of the summer blockbuster territory.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman.
Alright, so I've seen snippets, but not
You've seen snippets. Oh yeah, you came to watch it like the end, like the end scene like
some of like the first 20 minutes of like when I've been walked in before the other people. I don't know. I think the like resounding opinion with that one is like good, maybe not as good as the massive hype it got, but it's a really good film.
Pretty much. I wouldn't say really good film. I'd say substantial film, which should have happened 10 years ago.
Although I did see some tweet which was like talk about which was the moment or couple of minutes in a film that's most like affecting for you this year, and everyone kept saying, I think the Wonder Woman, is it No Man's Land scene? Does that ring a bell with you?
Oh yeah.
So that was one people kept citing as one of the best scenes of the year.
Really? Oh, I suppose it's one of the like good scenes. I think it's mainly because for me, that was the first time. You know that ding 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 ding.
The Spy Kids
that
rip-off,
score,
which I still stand by, is ripped off Spy Kids.
Yeah.
No one else probably thinks that, but I
No.
Spy Kids.
Do you want to explain the theory? I think it's great. As soon as you told me, it was.
I just think that's. What was the theory? I just think I've heard
It's
that.
the Wonder Woman theme song, which is the Hans Zimmer and the Junkie XL whatever they did. They did like a guitar riff for Wonder Woman. That's her theme. That is very similar to the Spy Kids.
Yeah, I'm
theme
positive
song.
it's the Spy Kids. And like you just did that sound right then.
And you thought
that's
it was
exactly
Spy
in Spy Kids. I stand by it. Was like direct rip off Spy Kids.
But yeah, no, that was the first time that came into the film.
Yeah.
And that's when she was
I
going
see.
up above the wall and stuff, like over the trenches into No Man's Land. And that's when it first plays, because I remember that bit, because I loved that soundtrack.
Yeah.
But also I do love Spy Kids, so maybe there's a link. But no, for me, that film, it was good. It was a good watch. Some of the CG was a bit some of the dialogue was a bit some of the bit story, like towards the end, was a bit But nice progressive film, but should have happened like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think the thing that's going to be most significant long term about that film is the fact that, not to talk about grim shit again like we always do, so far we can, yes. You know, like Gal Gadot said, she won't continue in the franchise if Bryan Singer stays on.
Brett
Ratner, wrong watch. Sorry, Bryan Singer. If I'm just predicting the future there, that'll be worrying.
Oh god, yeah, no.
No, Bryan Singer's good.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
for now.
but the fact that like she used her power as as a lead actor to say, I'm not going to be part of this if this negative force for a different reason isn't part of it.
Oh yeah, no,
I think that's
good.
going to resonate a lot in the future. Hopefully more and more lead kind of, because I feel obviously actors have always been politically involved if they are interested wise, but with social media and stuff, like you see people like Jessica Chastain and stuff kind of all over social media pushing those kind of issues. So as actors have more kind of power, I think in the future they'll be able to influence the way the actual industry more in that respect.
Yeah.
So I think that's one that might have long, because it could have backfired badly on it. Like
Yeah.
It could have been like, well, he's whatever, we're not going to have you do it.
Because he's a big name.
Especially if it was the 70s, I reckon they wouldn't have had a problem doing that.
Oh,
They would
yeah.
have just been like, we'll just recast it, what's going to do. But with Twitter, Instagram age, there'd been an uproar that she realised that she had the kind of upper hand there.
Which is good. I feel like that should have happened. Well,
It probably has been happening.
about 5 years ago. You know when Jennifer Lawrence started to get really big out of the Hunger Games? I feel like she could have been the main person for that. And then just kind of signed.
She seemed to be more interested in doing the salary should be equal thing.
Yeah.
That was her big crusade, is that women should be paid the same as men. Which obviously is just as, obviously it's a valid thing to push yourself towards as well. And I do think this kind of thing has probably been happening forever with actors saying like, I won't be part of it if this person is, but it just doesn't get widely publicised. But I'm sure you can probably go back to like the 40s and 50s and hear stories of it happening.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a really good significant thing about that.
But yeah, I wouldn't put it in my top 5. I wouldn't really put it in my top... maybe from this top 10. Maybe just because I feel like I haven't seen that many films. So I've seen a lot of films in 2017, just
Not many from
2017.
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of new films, just not made this year.
We got a definite top 3 for me coming up next.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What with The Mummy?
Didn't see. Did you not see?
No, I did
Nobody
not see.
saw.
I saw the trailers. I thought that is too much. It's mainly because I liked the old Mummy films. I thought they were good. They had their time.
Yeah, I liked it.
Brendan Fraser on
It's always
top of
on
the world.
ITV3 or whatever
Yeah,
it
it was great. So why ruin that? And then they ruined it.
is. Badly.
Like they ruined it that badly. We were talking about it before we started filming, but it was that bad. They had to can off the whole Dark Universe thing they were planning.
Because they had been intending on...
Because they started off with, was it the Dracula film first or the Frankenstein?
I think it might have been Frank. Yeah, one of the two.
Yeah, and yes, they
Something
were
to
building the
Frankenstein,
Dark
is
Universe, what it was, and they were going to bring all the classic monsters together in like a mashup film. So it's like their version of the Avengers.
They had all the rights. They had it all planned out, ready to happen.
And this bombed that badly that they decided not to do it anymore.
Fuck it all off.
Which is mental considering this is Universal and this was Tom Cruise. I'm trying to think who else was actually in it.
Annabelle Wallace was the female lead. She was in Peaky Blinders and she's pretty good.
Oh, so I'm glad. The one thing I've noticed this year more than any other year so far is that a lot of people from film, from
TV.
from TV fame have now kind of transitioned quite well
Yeah.
into film.
Because what happened,
As
actually,
well,
that's
which is
interesting. Because beforehand it happened the other way. So people from film went into TV. But it's almost like a bigger step to come from TV to film. And that's happening more and more now. So like it went from actors like, I don't know, like your Clive Owens and your Jude Laws, or like people who could hold up a blockbuster went to hold on a TV series. And now the people who are on those TV series with them are now going up to big leads in blockbusters.
Though at the same time, there's been a lot more swap over within the film to TV as well. Like it kind of started off with, not to go back to anything else either, but Kevin Spacey going to House of Cards.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's been a lot more big stars going to TV
That's what
series
started
as well.
it, yeah.
Like trying to think who's been big this year. We'll go into a little bit of series and stuff. But Sam Aston in Stranger Things season 2, who was Samwise Gamgee in Lord of the Rings.
Sean Astin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Sorry, it's probably
It's alright now.
But also, I was forgetting her name.
But there's a ton
Winona
of
Ryder in
Yeah.
that. Drew Barrymore from either this year or last year in Santa Clarita Diet, which was a weird series.
I think there's a TV called like Godless and Mudbound. There's a couple coming out now. They've got Anthony Hopkins in Westworld. Westworld's full of film and TV people. Those big HBO ones. So yeah, it's definitely becoming a blurred line now between what used to be film was the pinnacle and TV was what you did building your way up. Now with the writing and stuff improving more and more on TV, and TV giving a chance to like experience a character over however long as you can get there.
I was saying to this to Sophie the other day, because we were having a chat about it, and I think for me personally now, I do prefer series to films.
I get where you're coming from, because this year for me has been a lot more TV series than films. It feels like I've watched, just because a film is stupid. It's really dumb. A film feels like more of a time commitment than a TV series.
It does, doesn't it?
Because a TV series is like, I'll watch an episode. If it pulls me in, it pulls me in, and then I'll get a bunch more satisfaction from it in the future. Whereas a film, it's like it's 2 hours. If I don't like it, it's a wasted 2 hours. I'm going to have 2 hours straight, or I'm going to kind of dilute it. I don't want to watch it in a half an hour burst.
Yeah.
So it just feels easier to watch a TV series than a film.
Also, just quick little shout out to it.
Yep.
Which we can talk about later on because it came out later in the year. Just as we're talking about TV series, even though it came out last year, first ever season.
Yep.
The Good Place.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great show.
Fantastic.
5th of January.
Yep. I can't wait. It's it felt like ages since we actually said, oh yeah, it's so long until.
I read a great
comes
article
out.
about that actually, because it's the guy who created it is a guy called Michael Schur, who also created Parks and Recreation and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and it's about how he's set these. So these are in worlds of like local government, New York police, and like heaven and hell. Like they could be contentious, kind of difficult topics to raise and stuff, and it's just about how even in these kind of very tense worlds, he's created a real atmosphere of like kind of like friendship and camaraderie and teamwork and stuff, and just about how he's kind of creating these really decent like cinematic worlds to work in. So just a big shout out to Mike Schur, I guess.
yeah, everyone
Best
listen to the
shit
show.
TV.
DM us, we'll come get you on the show. What else came out this year? Oh, just quickly talking about The Mummy. Budget was rumored 125 to 195 million dollars,
Jeez.
and it only made 409. Which, considering this is a Tom Cruise film, it's like Universal's latest thing to try and get a massive franchise out.
Yeah.
That isn't, and also not including your advertising, which it was everywhere.
Yeah.
So you've got to presume that was at least another 200 million on top of that. This barely broke even.
Yeah, you got to think, especially the box office as well. Some of it's got to be like Far East markets and stuff where people, because that's where a lot of the money's coming from now. Like people just went and saw it just for Tom Cruise, and even like it just didn't have a place in the film landscape in the kind of West, like in England and America and stuff, really at all.
Also, I just read here. Sorry, I just said it might not have even broke even. Apparently, given its high production and marketing costs, projected losses of 95 million.
Jesus.
So it must have had like a 300 million budget for the advertising or like any sort of salary. So it lost nearly $100 million.
Poor Tom Cruise.
That
Just
is...
trying to lose himself in his work while his wife goes apart. Wife. Massive failure.
Yeah, that is not very good.
Alright, so what else we got?
What else came out?
This is the one I was teasing before.
What, Baby Driver?
Baby Driver.
Baby
yeah.
Driver. I've still not seen it, so please don't ruin it.
I'm not going to ruin it. It's been my favourite film.
Of the year?
I don't know. I think
Of
I need to
all
watch
time?
it again. I need to watch that and Get Out again. I think to
Yes.
really like place them in my head. The thing that's really interesting about Baby Driver, which you can look for if you can watch it the first time or you're watching it again, is that it's very much about kind of music and the beat alongside the car chases.
Yeah,
So everything
it edits to
happens
the
on a beat on the film, and it's got a very own kind of strange pacing. There was a big movement against Baby Driver actually when it came out, because a lot of people were saying like narratively it's not very complex. The story is pretty basic, but again, I just think you're missing the point of what you're watching. You're not taking in, just kind of like. It's an Edgar Wright film, so it was going to be
I was
hard
going
for
to
me
say
not to like it.
that's just a selling point in its own right nowadays.
Yeah, and it's like he wrote. This is one of the first scripts he wrote. So he wrote this 25 years ago, and he's just been playing with it ever since. So you can just see the amount of attention to detail. Like the first 6 minutes, the opening car chases on YouTube, and I would recommend kind of like that's definitely worth watching, because if that doesn't pull you in, then A, what the fuck is wrong with you? And B, just to pay attention. You can watch it 4 or 5 times and pick up something new every time. So that's one definitely worth a watch. I'd say you need to watch that.
I will, trust me. I just we've just not had time to watch it yet.
It's also like get it on Netflix or something. We'll see when.
Yeah,
that
well,
happens.
that's what I'm waiting for, really.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way that we can find good films these days, to be honest.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So going into July was like second phase of the summer blockbuster.
Yep.
Dunkirk, which is one of the films we did watch. We didn't do like a full review,
No.
but we just wanted to talk about it in the podcast at some point.
Yeah.
You, me, and Soph went
Watching
to
the
go and
cinema.
see it at the Cinema Nero.
I feel like again, this is one I really feel like I need to watch again, because I think I was just a bit confused watching the whole film.
Yeah.
Because it definitely doesn't make life easy. Like there's a lot of dialogue you can miss. It can be hard to follow what's actually going on, but obviously that's part of it, because it was such a chaotic time. What I would say I want to really pay attention to again if I watch that again is Mark Rylance. So do you know who Mark Rylance is?
No.
He plays the guy who owns the boat, kind of elderly guy. with
Oh,
the kids.
yeah.
He's probably like top 3 most esteemed British actors alive today, like theatre actors and stuff. And he's in a film called Bridge of Spies with Tom Hanks, which I watched the other day, and he plays like a Russian spy in there. And he's fucking absolutely amazing if you want to watch an actor in terms of doing very little. So he's very subtle and very measured and still, and it's like a real. It's like, do you know, almost. So have you seen Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy?
No, but I've heard it's very good.
So Gary Oldman plays George Smile in that, and it's just a very still, kind of like subtle character, and I just think he'd be amazing for that. But I want to watch it again just to pay more attention to his role, because he's such a great, kind of like calm, distinguished actor that he's not playing anything big, but he's giving you so much in kind of so little.
I do like actors who do that. Just quick spin-off from that. Sorry, spin-off. Don't know why I said spin-off. Have you seen the trailer for Churchill yet?
I've seen I think I've actually seen it. Yeah, just like before I watched the film.
How amazing is that is Gary Oldman?
It's crazy, isn't it? I've actually seen him in an interview talking about it as well. He talks about like being incredibly like he was so nervous before he filmed. He like tried to leave the country, but he had to get the prosthetics person out of retirement. And
Really?
that he moved in like a few doors down for the prosthetics person specifically to get him for this film.
Oh wow!
But I'm massively excited to see that.
Yeah, I'm quite interested. Even though I don't really have that much interest in stuff like that.
Do you not like the historic? Because I think Churchill as a person is someone we could all learn a lot more about, just in terms of what he stood for and that kind of like. Obviously, he only worked during wartime, but I think a lot of younger people could do with finding out a bit more about Churchill, considering all we know politically of British leaders is like divs, like
Yeah.
your Camerons and your Nick Cleggs and stuff.
Yeah,
So
no, I get that.
it'd be good to just go back and just see what a real kind of strong, intelligent personality can do, who isn't gonna get cowed by other people. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to that. I think that's what I'm up there
fair
for.
enough. But we'll go back to Dunkirk for just 1 second.
What did you think?
From one of my favourite directors, probably my favourite director of all time, Christopher Nolan. He's great at building worlds, creating characters and stuff. In this, maybe it's just because I'm not that big of a fan of like war stuff, though. I can watch war stuff. Like I'd say my favorite one is Saving Private Ryan, and I
Yeah.
can watch that and like be completely immersed.
Yeah.
In this, I just wasn't,
Mhm.
and I don't know whether it's just because it was like a bit of an obscure story. Like no one's really heard that much of the Battle of Dunkirk compared to like other
Yeah.
stuff. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I kind of came out of it just a bit underwhelmed.
Yeah. I think it was again like it was he was going for a fully different thing than we were expecting. Like we were expecting like because think about every Nolan film before it's had like very convoluted intelligent scripts and dialogue and
Which I don't mind
storylines.
at all. Like
That's what I mean.
great,
But like this is the opposite. This is all it's just about it was a very kind of visual and chaotic and everywhere, and you can't really follow what's going on, but it relied a lot on you just having some background knowledge or just you're not really meant to go. So it was a film that very much kind of like it was made for itself, not for any kind of audience almost. Like he wasn't trying to pander to anybody's confusion or anything, and I can see how that could be.
I respect as well because mainly he just does what he wants to do, and this is he'd not done like a wartime thing before.
Yeah.
He was like, I want to do this, so he just goes and does it, and he knows that he has an audience and he has some like a fan base that will go and see this no matter what anyway.
Yeah.
And that's what works for him.
Yeah, and I think it was him like he was paying respects to that occasion because as a day, what happened was like there's a million incredible stories within that one day that I guess he was trying to get across.
Yeah.
But I do think it definitely didn't sink in with me first time, which isn't
Yeah.
necessarily a bad thing.
Oh yeah. No.
As I'm getting on, I'm realizing more and more how like you kind of have to rewatch films to really take them in fully. I think
Yeah.
there's so many detail, there's so much effort, and so much like every second's been crafted that you're not going to pick up first time. So it feels a bit premature almost to cast aspersions on a film straight off.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. But does it make the top 5?
It doesn't. It doesn't make anything for
Are we
me.
going for top 5 or top 3?
I don't know. Top 3 is maybe we say top 3 and we just talk around a couple of films around.
Okay, yeah, so it definitely doesn't make my top 3. Wait, what has so far? Get Out has. Nothing else has so far. No, not Guardians. No. It would no. Yeah, not Logan either. We're pointing at a screen.
Alright, well, I know coming down.
It's mainly because I know what's coming up.
I was going to say I can see what's coming up that's going to take it for you.
Yeah.
That'll be a moment.
War of the Planet of the Apes.
I did see, again, I've heard really good things about, and I do definitely want to see him. I'm a huge fan of Andy Serkis. I think he's doing some of the best work just going today, and he needs a bit more recognition, really.
Oh, he does, definitely. Which is why I'm glad Marvel have with him being Ulysses Claw, and he's not actually a mocap character for once. So you can actually get to see him in a mainstream film. He's in Black Panther.
Yeah, Black Panther.
What's going to be coming up, and he was in Age of Ultron as like a mini character.
All I could think then was black something, and I was like, I can't say that, it's racist. I bet it's not even black something. I was like, come on, man, tell me what it is. No, it is actually black
White
something.
Panther.
It's a trick, yeah.
Yeah, no, have you seen the other ones? Rise of the Planet and Dawn of the Planet?
I've seen the very first one, and I think the like appeal for all of them has been like the first one was pretty good, then the second one was really good, and the third one was really good. So I don't think I need to give the whole series a kind of another look in. But
see, for me, the only thing that really kind of annoys me about this trilogy is it's only a little minor stupid thing as well. It feels like they mixed up the names. Like, Dawn should have been the first one.
Yeah.
And then Rise should have been the second one, because
That's
that just
true.
makes sense.
That's true, actually, yeah, you're right.
So why is the first one called Rise of the Planet of the Apes and then the second one's the Dawn? But the war, that sounds just cool. Some of the best CG I've seen in films as well, even going back to 2011.
That's true, yeah, definitely true.
Also, one of the main bits in that film, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, I should say, which seems a bit stupid out of context as well, but it's the first time that Caesar speaks properly. If you
in the one before, yeah, because the first one he doesn't, yeah.
Yeah, and he just shouts no, and I remember being in the cinema, and everyone just went like that.
That's cool.
And it was
so
such,
cool.
it was a really cool cinematic moment. Just also being in a cinema with people as well.
Have you seen Little Miss Sunshine?
No.
Because I was watching this the other day. It's the opposite film. It's a small independent film from 2004.
Yeah.
With so it's like a comedy film. It's got Alan Arkin, and like Greg Kinnear, Paul Dano, but basically Paul Dano, who's the guy from There Will Be Blood, the younger person, and he's the kind of a weird looking dude. He's a teenager who's taken a vow of silence because he's obsessed with Friedrich Nietzsche, and he doesn't say a word until like 2 hours in the film, and at that point he just screams fuck, and it had like the same impact on me. And it's funny to think like those are the two moments in the film where someone's not said anything for ages and then they've screamed no and fuck, and it's both had like a massive impact on the audience.
But no, Dawn was really good as well, so I'm really looking forward to this. I feel like I've waited long enough to go and see it. But
yeah, I feel the thing is they come by and they go by so quick. These kind of
do.
films.
We were talking about this
all the good ones
ago,
come out at the same time. Like we're saying, like looking at 1 month there was Dunkirk, War of Planets of the Apes, and then the third film, which is
Spider-Man: Homecoming.
this is your debate now.
Oh, that was a segue.
You break my segue. I'm taking a step. That was a segue and then a step back. That was like hosting as fuck.
Yeah, I'll get on to Spider-Man.
Alright, cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Can't wait to see the CGI.
Yeah.
And I think it's not in the top 3 because I can't put it in there because it's like I've not seen it, so I can't say.
Yeah.
But it'll be one of the ones around it. So if anyone's seen that, good for you.
Probably in my top 6 or 7, I reckon.
However, Spider-Man: Homecoming is definitely in my top 3 of this year. First time I told people this ages ago. A random kid just said they will bring Spider-Man to the MCU. They finally did. I've been waiting for this since like 2012, and it's finally happened. And I saw it.
It met all your expectations.
And it exceeded all my expectations.
Incredible.
It was, I know, you can see like he's a proper kid in school trying to deal with these emotions, but also being a superhero at the same time. I just think it's fantastic.
I did think
noticeable moments, great villains. Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say go for it.
Okay, great villains, a great Spider-Man moment, which is synonymous with the comics as well. You know, when he gets stuck, he gets trapped under all that rubble. He's trying to push himself out. That's a classic moment. It's
cool.
great. Even though the twist you could have kind of seen coming, it didn't for me, did for you, I think.
Did I see it coming?
Where the Vulture is the dad
I think I did.
The kid that he likes. Didn't see it coming, which is really weird considering they've already done that in Spider-Man 1.
Yeah.
But I loved it.
The one thing it's not my top 3, I don't think. And maybe I need to watch it again, but I thought it was good. I think the one thing it did better than the original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire is that it got the age right. So I still remember the scene with Tobey Maguire where he's in like, he's like in the mirror and he's like flexing. And he's but it's just like he's a full-grown man there. Whereas, like at least like Tom, what's he called?
Holland.
Tom Holland looks like a teenager.
He's actually younger than us.
Exactly. And I actually kind of hated a lot of the things they did to try and appeal to young people. That was
this film, you mean?
In this film,
okay.
There was a few like references. I can't remember because it's been a long time. But you know when like it felt like maybe like something like a reference to Snapchat or Tinder or something like that, where they tried to. There was a lot of times where I could feel like in the script they had like a bracket like youth reference here, and it said like, and then you'll go and put on your, and it's like Vans or like whatever it might be, but it just felt super crowbarred in some of those to me, and I don't know why, but I immediately registered some of those moments. But I did think it was a decent film. I didn't think it was as incredible as everyone was making out, but maybe that's just because I'm a little bit more cynical, and when I hear something incredible, I go in like, okay. Let's see it then.
That's definitely my top 3.
And the thing with those films as well is like when they're not a disappointment, it's almost a miracle because there's so much expectation from the fans going in that it would fucking paralyze me if I were trying to make one of those kind of films knowing that there's people who have like Spider-Man's what's got them through their teenage years and stuff, and this is a huge deal.
Well, that's the thing. Like the people who are writing these now are those people who like read the comics and it's like we're actually making the story because we've grown up with him, sort of thing. So it's like
so the fact
it's ultimate fan service.
Yeah.
Which, especially for Spider-Man, like with the other properties that are coming out, just kind of good luck to them because they're building something new. Yeah. Which I'm looking forward to. Which still astounds me that they're making new stuff within something that's been going for 17 movies, which we can go into later on. But,
I love the fact as well that, right, just to quickly, that he was introduced in the Civil War or Infinity War, whatever it was, and he just had like a few one-off lines. Because normally I wouldn't be a fan of like it was a perfect kind of teaser. You saw him, he was kind of funny. You didn't learn too much about his background. You saw them on. I think the way they did it with Iron Man, almost using it as transition to its own thing. I think that was pretty fucking genius.
Yeah.
Like as an actual strategy, that it didn't feel like weird to suddenly have him carrying a film on his back. So it had Iron Man there for a bit of a, you rest with something you know, and
Oh yeah, it's just like you say, a perfect transition.
I just think that they did a really good job with that. So credit with, I do think they've done a really good job of beginning that franchise.
Oh yeah.
And it's just when you see these compared to your Justice Leagues and your Suicide Squads, it's like, how did you fuck this up, this colossal? I keep swearing today, but these just getting, I don't know, I guess I don't like films, I waste my time. Suicide Squad.
We're going to skip straight through August because I couldn't remember any that had been through August, and we're going to go straight to something that we have talked about quite a bit. Haha, it's it.
This is now giving me a real struggle whether it's in my top 3. Do you want to, because we went and saw that one too, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
So what was your... Because Soph was the one who was super, super excited because she loves horror films.
She was indeed. That was actually, apart from 1 or 2, I think it was the most mainstream one I've seen now, because I've seen Unfriended and I've seen Poltergeist in the cinema. So this was the 3rd ever horror film that I've seen in the cinema. I loved it. It's really good.
Yeah.
I think it was mainly for me, it was the actors involved and the characters that they built, because we'd only just seen, because I know you did as well, because we compared the originals to this.
Yeah.
And the way that the originals have their own sort of quirk to them and their own sort of charm.
Well, my main thing with the originals was that I liked the first one with the kids, because again I thought they had a real... I know we talked about this all the time. I thought it felt like a real good friendship group. Like it felt like it made sense with the dynamics between each kid. Yeah. And I just felt like those, you know, like Stand By Me and stuff. When you hit on the right group in those coming of age stories, it can carry them. And I think again with this, they did the same thing. They got a bunch of kids who had the right dynamic and they were right. They seemed like they were friends in the right age groups and looked right. Like there wasn't one who was like with like a goatee or something when they just like cast like a 19-year-old. Like. It felt like they got it all right. And again, it was made by someone, it's like a passion project. They'd been trying to make it for 20 years, they loved it, they thought they could do something good. And it just all, this is contending with my top 3, I think,
It's definitely around there for me. I know what makes my top 3, so it can't make it.
But it's borderline one.
It's going
to be like 3, 4 that are kind of on the edge for us.
Oh, I just know what else came out this year. It's got to be 4th or 5th for me.
I feel like as well at this list, no offence to your list, but there's going to be something in this list that like is a major thing that I've loved that I've forgotten, especially with all the kind of smaller films.
We'll kind of have like a roundup at the end of it and stuff. I just know that we're going through the year. But no, It for me, great film.
Yep.
I can't wait to see part 2. Though at the same time, it's that reservation because part 2's not going to involve the kids, and they're the ones that you actually liked.
They've got to cast it right.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like the second part of the original, but they might do better with this one.
Also, that came out this year, just reminding myself because of Stranger Things, because I was thinking of Phil Wolfhard that was in Stranger Things. Also, Billy, that was in Stranger Things. He was the main guy in Power Rangers that came out this year.
Was that this year?
That was this year.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. I didn't see that. I can't remember when it came. I think it was early in the year when it came out, but heard it was an okay film.
Before I forget, there's 3 films which are like lesser known films that I'm really looking forward to see that keep coming up in top films of the year list.
So one came out this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of them's called Lady Bird, which is with Saoirse Ronan and it's directed by Greta Gerwig, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Greta Gerwig's like, she's about 30, she's this young American filmmaker and she's really good. She just kind of has her own very weird, quirky style and she's great.
Oh, yeah.
There's a film called Call Me By My Name as well, which I think is French, and that looks really good.
What, Adele?
That's the one. There's something called The Florida Project. So those are 3 other like lesser known films, which I think are worth some attention as well, because they keep popping up in best of the year lists.
Fair enough. I'm trying to think if there's anything I can pick up, but I can't think of anything for now. So
it's up there with my top 3.
Manchester by the Sea, did that come out this year?
I think that might have been last year, but
I can't remember.
Because I don't know actually. I'll have a quick look. But Manchester by the Sea again, that's one.
I feel like that won an Oscar this year, so maybe not.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It feels like it's won awards already. It's 2016, yeah.
Yeah, 2016. Okay. Another controversial film that came out this year, Mother.
Doubt.
I heard it got terrible reviews, or excellent reviews.
Yeah.
Darren Aronofsky's love piece about the world, apparently.
Apparently, it's like no spoilers,
Yeah.
but it's a metaphor for a well-known story in real life, like a kind of.
Do you know what
parable.
the story is?
I know what it's a metaphor for, but I don't
Okay.
know about the actual thing itself. I don't know much about it. I haven't seen it.
But yeah, it just seemed like a lot of Jennifer Lawrence, surprised face.
Yeah, and I think
very
there's a
close
few.
up.
I think there's a few big shock moments that are kind of in there, almost just for shock appeal. I don't know. All I know is Darren Aronofsky started going out with Jennifer Lawrence whilst they were
And then
making
this
it.
happened.
So fuck him. Deal for Jen.
Hashtag deal for Jen.
Yeah, fine. It's got to be on the best of episode.
Oh, if only Soph was here, she'd love it.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so we'll skip past that. Something we were going to watch, but we didn't. Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah. Although I wasn't that big on the original Blade Runner. I don't know if you were.
No.
I didn't think. I could see how it did a really impressive job of creating that world, that dystopian future world thing ahead of when most of the people were doing that. But I didn't think it was that amazing in general.
I heard Jared Leto was in this.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
As a weird kind of robot-y sort of person.
It
As
sounds-
a bad guy
It
as well.
sounds like him.
Sounds like he's kind of dropped the ball.
I think everyone was kind of like, I don't know whether people were on board with like Dallas Buyers Club. He was great.
Oh yeah, no,
Going
he
back
was, I
reckon-
think Suicide Squad
Suicide
really
Squad killed
knocked
it
him up.
for
Yeah,
him.
he did.
It
It
just-
really did.
It just went from like okay, and then just like the fatigue just hitting with everybody.
It was like he was running up a hill, and then that hill just suddenly stopped, and it was a cliff,
Yeah.
and he just fell off.
And no one wants to see his face again. He's dead to the world, which is disappointing because he tries. I know he's psycho, but he definitely tries.
To be fair though, I think he's one of those like actors that can just come back from this. I think he just needs a really good role.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Well, I suppose anyone can do that, but with him, he kind of keeps reinventing himself, and he always chooses his projects quite sparingly.
Yeah, he
So
does.
I'm always looking forward to seeing what he's in. But yeah, we'll move that past that now.
It's the two big ones.
Two big ones, and then a small one, then a massive one. Thor
Sounds like
Ragnarok.
my bowel roots. Okay,
Thor Ragnarok.
go. This is all you. I still haven't seen it.
Oh no. I think I'm gonna. Oh no. I'll talk about it later. Thor Ragnarok, amazing. Loved it. Thought it was a great new direction to take it. Again, building a franchise, but also taking a solo story to somewhere it's never been before, and also managing to keep ties to that the universe as such.
Yeah.
Introducing new characters quite willingly as well, like Doctor Strange cameos in this quite
cool.
nicely, as well as like a nice couple of references to other things as well. Fantastic. I
I've heard
thought.
great things about the tone of it as well. Like it's funny, it's enjoyable to watch. So that is what I definitely intend on seeing. It's just kind of like, again, once you miss the cinema burst, it can take a while for these films to come around on your streaming whatever's or TV and anything. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. It's one of those that I've heard mostly good things about. And I was a bit like, Ragnarok, are you serious? But it sounds like it pulled it out.
Well, the Norse mythology behind it is that it's basically all the gods die and then like reborn. So everyone was like, ooh, what's going to happen? Who's going to die here? Because apparently it was when it first was launched, like as part of like what's happening in Phase 3. Kevin Feige described it as the Winter Soldier of Phase 3, so it's like the biggest world-changing thing within the whole phase.
Yeah.
Which I don't get why
No,
now.
I don't know.
But I mean, like spoiler alert, they're not on Asgard anymore. Asgard, they'll have to move. Which, sorry if I just spoiled.
No, I heard something about there's some funny moment where Loki shows up on a new planet or something in some weird outfit or something like that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's interesting to see what kind of happens from there. But
Congratulations again, Marvel.
yeah, you've earned a fuck ton more money. I think it made like 800 million at the box office, which is mental for like a film like that. Because it's Thor's not really one of the better known.
Well, think about it, 800 million pounds worth of people going to see a film called Ragnarok.
Yeah.
You tell your mum you want to see a film called Thor Ragnarok, she's going to tell you to shut up. Like, you can watch some rom-com or something.
Is that like an Asian thing?
No, I don't know. Do you think your mum would be on board with a name of something like that? It sounds a
Probably
bit.
not. Yeah, no, to be fair. My mum would be like, okay, well, you have fun. I'm gonna go watch Bridesmaids 3. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
But yeah, from glowing reviews to very mixed reviews,
Yeah.
Justice League. We missed one.
But did we forget?
October.
We talked about Blade Runner. Did you forget about a film from October?
We did. We went to go see it together.
Should I know what this is?
Jigsaw.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, Jigsaw.
Okay. I mean,
we've talked about it though. So
I
we
feel
have
like
to go
okay
into
kind
it.
of like sums it up, yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
sums it up. That's it.
Let's-
Shall I move on?
Yeah, let's move on. If you need more reviews,
So just
go
goes
back
over
and
this. She's
listen.
like, oh fuck you guys. But yeah, we'll go back to Justice
We
League.
gave it some time.
Yeah, we gave it like 2 hours of our life, and that's it. We don't have to give it any more.
I gave it, well, think about it, we watched all the old ones. We gave it like, we recorded the podcast, we gave it like a solid 10 hours.
Yeah,
More
Justice
clout
League.
than anybody needs.
What did you think of Justice League?
I thought it was crap.
Yeah.
I didn't
yeah.
like the story, didn't particularly like anything. Well, I mean, we've already shot on it. I pretty much shot on it for like an hour and a half straight on the last podcast when we actually talked about it. But it was just, I don't know, it was disappointing. There wasn't even many like, do you know, sometimes when you watch something bad, you're like, oh, but that character's alright, or that guy's doing a good job, or whatever. There wasn't much of that. Like, Ben Affleck was phoning it the fuck in. Wonder Woman was trying her ass off. I'll give her credit, she was trying.
Yeah, she was alright.
Gal Gadot, sorry, I don't really know. Other than that, storyline wasn't that great, wasn't that funny.
Terrible CGI villain.
Yeah.
Weird hashed together plot. Weird CGI.
It just felt like they
in
were
general.
trying to rip off Marvel but didn't get it right. They forced their... Because like Avengers became big off the chemistry between the people, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like it was a kind of funny-ish tone and like the chemistry between the leads. And there was just none of that, like... Didn't buy any sexual tension, didn't feel like why there had to be any sexual tension with Batman and Wonder Woman.
That didn't have to be.
Didn't
at
think
all.
anyone else, like the kid, the robot kid, I think he could have been an interesting character, but A, he was a bit of an ex machina, and B, it was like, do you know, like every character needs a kind of like, they're not willing at one point and then something changes their mind and they decide to come back.
I feel
was
like
so
they filmed
blatant.
it, but it wasn't there.
That's what I mean, they just skipped it.
Yeah.
They were like he said no first, and it was like, alright, T- when he says he's going to join the team.
Yeah.
Like, it was just never believable that he wasn't going to be a part of it.
Yeah.
They didn't set up anyone's motivations right. I just didn't like anything.
Yeah, and kind of going back to The Mummy and how that kind of derailed everything. I mean, this didn't do that well in terms of box. I don't know. I can't remember if it actually broke the billion thing. Let me just check 1 second. But basically, you know how Justice League was supposed to have their own films.
Yeah, there was like an
they're supposed to
Aquaman.
be.
There probably still is an Aquaman film.
Oh, they're all still going to be happening. It's just they're not connected anymore in the same way that
Oh,
they're
so they're not
supposed to
going
be.
to show up.
So instead of this extended universe like Marvel's doing,
Yeah.
they're just canning that and they're
Well,
just
they
going to
probably
do like
can't. They
singular
probably don't
films.
splash out for it anymore, to be honest.
Yeah.
And like, there's all the just crap with there's Ben Affleck going to do Batman again. He said he wants to direct, but he said he doesn't want to do it. Then he says he wants to do it, but not direct. It's all a bit up in the air with that whole thing. So you can kind of tell that it's got to be hard for an actor, to be fair, to know you're making a crap film.
Oh, that must
So
suck.
do you know what I mean? Like I can almost not. I almost don't blame him because you must be able to get an inkling within the first couple of weeks. Fucking J.K. Simmons that annoyed me, by the way.
Yeah, that annoyed me too.
Why was he?
Such a
Why
good-
even do? Didn't he get in insane shape for this as well? Was it for this?
I can't remember.
He got in absolute because he's like 70. He got in insane shape, and I'm sure it was to play Gordon. And he's in it for 7 or 8 minutes.
Though he's going to be in the Batman film, so maybe he'll have a bit more of a role in that. But the budget, we were talking about this just earlier, 300 million it ended up on. That was just to make the film, never mind the advertising costs. It only made 651.8 million. Which seems like a lot to most people, but Avengers 2 made both Avengers films made just like around 1.5 billion each.
Jesus.
And
Also-
this is like the Avengers of DC. And oh, good God! All right, he's now showing me a picture of J.K. Simmons.
At 61 years old, doing some curls in the gym with just. I mean, all my point is that he's clearly gone to so much.
Well, it's like
They must have filmed it. They must have told him to go to this much effort for the character, and he's in it for all of a minute and a half, maybe.
Yeah, and it's like with we were just speaking about Jared Leto before.
Mm-hmm.
He did all that crazy shit to be the Joker like last year,
Yeah.
and it got so much press and so much hype about it, and how it was going to be such like a big moment. And he was in it for 10 minutes. He
Yeah.
was in the film for 10 minutes. Didn't make that much of a difference at all.
And then they release it all as deleted scenes, and it's like, well, we don't really care if it's.
Yeah, it's got to be part of the film or nothing, really. It doesn't
Yeah,
work
like Jared
that.
Leto was acting like a complete psycho in general.
Yeah.
Apparently, he kept. Do you know he sent all the cast members a live rat, I think, as a gift, or one of them a live rat.
Yeah, he sent them a couple like rats. He sent them used condoms.
Oh
he
yeah,
sent
all
them
sorts.
fucking-
It's just like you're not even in the film, mate. After all that,
Yeah, pretty much.
you've just accepted like a year's worth of mental illness for 4.5
For
minutes.
absolutely nothing. But yeah, massive flop at the box office, which is a shite.
See, I just
Wonder Woman made 821 million. Thor made 844 million.
See, they gave it to Zack Snyder, and I just think the mistake they're making is they're not. I just think the best way to do these things is to find the creative person behind it who's got the real passion and obsession,
Yeah,
and like really wants to do this thing, and just leave them to it. And I just think Zack Snyder's just a buzzword. Like, he's been running off 300 for a decade. Like 300 was pretty good, had its own weird feel to it, and he's just kind of obviously he had hard stuff happen to him. So sorry about that.
Yeah, so like to be fair, Joss Whedon came in, like stepped in, and just kind of
But I
finished
mean, like,
it.
it shouldn't have been a name. Like, you know, you're talking about that Ta-Nehisi Coates, is it pronounced? I'm not really sure how you say it.
Who?
it
Taika Waititi, you mean?
Oh, I'm thinking of someone else. I'm thinking of someone else entirely.
Okay, I just thought you completely mispronounced
Wait, I'm
Taika
gonna find-
Waititi.
No, I'm going to find who I'm thinking of.
Okay, but
That's who I'm thinking of.
okay, yeah, no, fair enough. You actually did get the name right.
Ta-Nehisi Coates. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, no,
he wrote he writes books.
He writes
Wrong
books.
podcast.
No. No, but to be fair, I get exactly what you mean. It's just
Get the right person, leave them to it, and don't keep your studio fingers off of it.
pretty much don't listen to the audience either.
Yeah, don't listen.
Like-
Audiences are stupid.
Yeah,
Guys.
people are stupid, so just don't listen to them. Just make what you want to make. It's like any content creator, really. It's like you make what you want to make, and someone
It'll
like
find your
an
audience.
audience will naturally come.
Yeah.
And you just got to make like the right waves to
Just
get
be
that
on it.
audience there,
Yeah.
and that's it. That's what content creation is. And they fucked it.
fucked it.
And we're just small time podcasters.
And we're gonna fucking bury this. we're
Just
gonna very happily take this
2018 is our year.
Yeah.
But now we're coming to the final two
The most I've
films.
directed is a Snapchat video, but I will happily take the piss of it because whatever.
The Disaster Artist.
I haven't seen it. I'm excited to see it.
Is it actually out, or is it?
I don't know if it's out here yet. If it is, it's just about, I'd guess.
Mm.
So it's the film, just to explain, it's where James Franco is playing an actor called a director called Tommy Wiseau, who directed and acted his own film called The Room, which is agreed to be one of the worst films of all time.
Yeah.
And it's super interesting because apparently he was directing the film in character, and he was also acting as the lead. So he's directing a film about a film which the actor in the film okay, I can't explain it.
Yeah, it's basically the inception of the shittest film ever made.
Yeah, basically. That's pretty good. I'll take that.
Alright, yeah. Because if it's actually that good as well, then it could kind of have terrible.
But I do think like James Franco's ultra talented and ultra intelligent, and he's got his brother Dave in there, obviously, who's married to Alison Brie, the piece of shit.
Hashtag still for Brie.
Hashtag Dill for Alright, whatever.
I just mean
Dill for cheese. Dill for cheese.
Yeah, dill cheese.
Dill cheese. Alright. But no, yeah, I'm curious to see that, and it's good because it's a kind of an independent-ish like film in its thought process, the way it was made. That's getting a big audience, so I think it's good that that's happening because it's not really happening as much as it used to.
Yeah, because it's only made on a budget of $10 million, and technically that's already done much better than Justice League in terms of like figures and stuff, because it's already made just under 20, so it's already doubled its budget.
Yeah, and it's only going to keep coming. And
Yeah.
it's not particularly being thrust down our throats in terms of marketing either, like a Justice League or like a film like that is.
I know another film that came out this year.
What?
Speaking of low budget films that keep coming and coming, The Cult of Chucky came out this year.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, because we reviewed Chucky's Child's Play.
I actually quite liked it, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. And the new one, I think it's like the fifth one in the series, came out this year on Netflix. It was a Netflix original made.
See, I like the original. I don't really see myself actively going and watching a sequel. I just think I don't know whether they'd be any good.
Yeah.
And B, like, I don't know whether it held that much, like whether it was good as a one-off weird thing for me.
I feel like if it was anything that we were gonna watch, we'd force ourselves to watch it and then talk about it.
Yeah.
And that's the only way that I'd watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But now we're finishing on the biggest film of the year.
Biggest film of the year.
Biggest film of the year, Star Wars: The Last Jedi. I've now seen it twice. I thought it was really good. I even got my dad to like it, and he didn't like The Force Awakens, which was why am I putting this?
I don't know actually. I'm just super distracted to me.
But no, I loved this film. It's already made 700 odd million at the box office, which isn't actually that. It's quite a disappointment considering
you'd think
the other
cracking
films.
$1 billion quite easy.
Yeah, but it's had the holidays to contend with.
And it's highly rated.
Kind of.
Overall, I don't know. I'd say over. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I think it's been a weird one because it's been critically very highly rated, and viewer what? Excuse me, just like some kind of triple.
Dill's on a little loop.
Yeah, but like in terms of actual random audience members, people are a lot more ambivalent on it than your critics are. So it's been a strange one. I was a bit more. I didn't think it was amazing. I didn't think it was bad by any means. I think I was a bit like, this is kind of alright. Again, maybe I need to watch it again. I like the director. I like some of the dynamic between like Kylo Ren and Rey, although I already don't like Rey in general in this film.
Yeah,
For some reason,
some people have felt like that because she's a bit more of a Mary Sue.
And every word she says, I just didn't believe. Like I didn't feel. I don't know. I could feel that she was acting the whole time. This is me getting super over the top with it, I guess. But I don't know. Like I've heard people who don't like the cast in general. I thought some of the Benicio del Toro bit, although I love him, it did seem a bit random and unnecessary.
See, I thought it was quite refreshing in a sense of. Sorry, just to cut across you.
Yeah, go for
me
it.
myself.
I was trailing.
It has actually just topped the billion.
That makes more sense worldwide. Yeah,
I think it was 700 odd domestically.
US.
Yeah, for the US rather. Though I don't know where those figures come in. But yeah, apparently that's around $1 billion, which is still great for a film.
Yeah, I mean, with the Star Wars, it's like it's always going to make a certain amount of money. I think it's more about like how it goes down. So it seems to have gone down relatively okay. Like I wouldn't say. I think the fact that all these critics reviews at the start hurt it because people heard amazing things from critics, then went and saw it and were just like, this is just a normal film.
Yeah.
But obviously, like, you can't expect a normal film made now to achieve the kind of... Because when you first watched a Star Wars film as a kid or whatever, it was a whole new, incredible experience to you. But watching it as an adult's never really going to hit that same peak. And I think people who are looking for that sometimes are the ones complaining because they're expecting something unreasonable.
Yeah, to be fair, I think I found myself in that bracket, though, where I was genuinely... No, where I did meet it, and I was just like inspired by it, because I was just like gripped to my chair, like, oh!
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe it's just hit and miss for some people, but...
it feels like I've been super negative overall. I do like films. It feels like I'm slating everything.
I feel like we should watch more that kind of come out in the cinema next year.
Yeah, we probably should. We'll get one of those Cineworld things.
Yeah, well, I'm going to put that through the company.
How are you thinking about it?
Well, I can technically do it because it is a company expense.
Yeah, very much so.
But, yeah, so that is this year so far. Top 3?
Alright.
I'm struggling between my top 3 here.
Alright, I mean, this is a good way to do it anyway. We have just gone through the year. Should we just do our top 3s then?
Yeah.
Alright, okay. Right, I'll go first then if you're struggling. Can you get up the other list?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So what I'm going to say then is I'm definitely going to say Baby Driver, based on Edgar Wright, based on, I love good direction, and I know I can keep going back to that film, and I know it'll keep showing me stuff and giving me more to appreciate.
Okay.
And it's just got a nice energy to it.
Wow.
I'm also going to give it to Get Out. See, the problem is I haven't watched a lot which could take it. Like, I feel like Thor might take the place in there. The Disaster Artist could take the place in there. I'm also going to give it to Get Out as well. Then, yeah, I just thought that made a really good social point. Love everyone who that was part of it. And I didn't see any of it coming. So that's a kind of unusual thing for me.
Okay, and you found that bit?
Find what I'm thinking. I'm thinking between Logan. I'm thinking between it as well. Maybe Dunkirk. I don't know about any lesser known films that came out this year. I'm going to go for... You know what? I'm going to give it to It because I don't usually like horror films. And that fully bought it for... That met it for me. it wasn't that it was scary. It was just a really compelling like storyline. All the characters were really well created, and the worlds they were in, you understood them straight away, and you fully. I don't know. I feel like that made it through the characters and their interrelationships with each other, and them being real people. And that's kind of credit to Stephen King more than anything, but also like fair play to the. I also like want to give respect to the people who made it. Like they'd been trying for a long time. They'd probably been knocked down a lot, and they just kept working at it because they knew it could come to something good. So that's like an inspirational thing in general.
Yeah, I like that.
So those are my three: It, Baby Driver, Get Out.
Okay.
Logan's just about missing out, but maybe Logan should have taken it. But that's my three.
Okay, my three. I gotta start off with Spider-Man: Homecoming. And very, very selfish reasons, just mainly it's my favourite.
Yeah.
Like, not even just my favourite superhero, but one of my favourite fictional characters of all time that I can relate to. And seeing that fully realised in a world that I've been waiting to see for like a very long time.
Yeah.
And it's just the culmination of everything that I love about the character and everything that I love about a cinematic universe that I'm deeply involved in come together.
Yeah.
And for me, that was amazing. Especially just to kind of see it come together as well. It was really funny, there was great characters in it, great villains in it, just great everything for me. So that takes my, and maybe not my, probably my number one spot of the year. Though I haven't got them in like a specific order.
It meant so much to you. The fact that it did meet everything is real impressive from their point of view. So I'm not surprised at all. I really think it probably is your number one.
Yeah.
Thinking about the way you felt watching it and talking about it afterwards.
Yeah. Number two, let's see. Oh, I don't know. I think I'm going to give it to Thor Ragnarok.
Okay.
Mainly because it blew me away that much that something could be so different and fresh from something that I've come to expect. Like, I've come to expect good films from this studio, and it sounds like I'm just a massive Marvel rent boy.
Yeah.
But just the way that I was so taken aback and taken into a completely new world that I did not expect, and that for me, something in cinema is that something you don't want to expect, you want to go into and just kind of enjoy that world.
Yeah.
For me, that was great because it was like as I said, different characters crossing over together in that world. So it's also got this whole new layer of context that other films, mainly other films, don't have anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's like we've got so far into this universe now where like one bit of context is like from 5 films ago or like 7 films ago, or it's like a completely different bit coming together.
Yeah.
Whereas a normal film wouldn't have that kind of layer to it, and that's what I find so interesting.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it to Thor Ragnarok. And I don't know whether to kind of add this over or whether just to have a completely different list to you. And it's between Get Out and Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
I feel like you can definitely have the same film as me, because I've got a couple that are borderline as well. So, were you just thinking you don't want to have the same film as me?
Yeah, kind of. But I think, yeah, you know what, I'm going to give it to Star Wars.
Do you think Star Wars beats Get Out for you?
I don't know.
Well, then as well.
So different categories.
Yeah, because you've got Spider-Man, really Thor, and Star Wars.
I know, but I'm a big.
Yeah, you're a big franchise guy.
So, but it's just the way that I was like, I've been waiting for this for 2 years. Like, it was a completely different approach. Again, something I never expected. I was so taken aback by different characters that came in. Like, no spoilers, but there were certain moments in the film I was just completely gone. Like, there's a certain character that comes back, which you might remember. I'm not going to give it away. Spoiler alert for anyone who's not watched it yet. When Yoda comes back.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Sorry, I'm just doing.
Oh yeah, like that was me and Sophie were both just like, oh okay.
Yeah, but for me, I was literally was. So genuinely, and I've never explained like this. Like I've never described something like it. It was a magical moment, which seems stupid, but it was to me at that time because it's just like something that you just weren't expecting at all. So yeah, that's the reason why, and I'm really interested to see what's coming next.
Mm-hmm.
Even though films shouldn't really do that, because I kind of agree that, like we were talking about Logan before, it's nice to have something that's set in stone.
Yeah.
That's it, and that's what you get from the story. But for this, it's just more hype.
Oh, do you know what I've forgotten? I wanted to talk about. Sorry, you keep talking about Star Wars.
Oh yeah, okay. But yeah, Star Wars for me, I can't wait to see the next one and see where it goes. And that's like especially within the franchises as well. That's kind of like their point, is to kind of get you excited for the next, but also tell an amazing story that you love.
Yeah.
And that's what it was for me.
See, I was going to say then, I kind of want to change mine now because I totally forgot about a film that came out this year.
Oh, okay.
It's a film. The problem is it hasn't been released in the cinema UK, or I don't think it's even got a UK release. It's a film called The Big Sick, which I was talking to you about.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah.
Which is
It's now free on Pornhub.
Yeah, it is because it was under interracial.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's about the Pakistani comedian goes to America, falls in love with a girl, she gets sick, and it's just about like their relationship. But I want to switch that one for it. I'm gonna say because that one had a lot more of it. It was kind of like a Judd Apatow. It was kind of an indie-ish film, and I like those smaller made films that have got like a bit more kind of a bit more natural vision of a couple of people and a bit more heart to them. And it was kind of a rom-com, but kind of not, and it had a really good acerbic, had a really good humour to it. And I just think that is one of the best films of the year, and that's got to go in my top 3. So it's getting demoted, and I'm going to Get Out, Big Sick, and Baby Driver.
Okay.
And I very much like those 3 films. In fact, I'd watch them all again right now in a row happily.
Now, I'm going to put I was going to say let's battle it out, but I can't be bothered because I think we're going to get to the same point anyway. Because, as I was saying about Star Wars, between that and Get Out, they're such different categories. I could have
easily put Logan in Star Wars mine as well. So it is very borderline. There's been some good individual films this year.
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't call it a good film year, but I'd say there's been some good individual films.
What would you describe as a good film year?
I can't think of specific. But you know, like the year The Dark Knight came out or something, there was a bunch of films that came out.
2008.
Maybe.
Yeah, because Iron Man came out at the same time as well.
I was thinking even this year, I can come up with 4 or 5 good films, but I don't know that I could come up with a good top 10. I feel like then I'd be stretching.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's been a good year. I don't think it's been a good film year. I think it's been a good year overall. But there's been a lot of shit your emoji movies and your Justice Leagues and stuff like that. There's been a fair amount.
It's been a good franchise year. It's not been a good film year.
Yeah.
But that's what I was getting to before. I'm gonna vote for both of us to say Get Out is the best film of the year.
Oh really?
Because I feel like that's something that we can
because it gets
agree
on the
on.
list.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like also because it was so different. It was new. Okay, it's gone.
It's fine.
It's new in the genre itself. Everyone was so taken aback that they were like, "Okay, this is awesome," and everyone really got on board with it. And I feel like,
and plus it's from one point from a film, you want to have a film you can have a chat, you can have a discussion with someone about.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine anybody would get out of that film and be like, "All right, let's go home." Someone's gonna be like, "What do you think?" What?
Yeah.
And there's people interpret it in so many different ways. For white people, there's Jordan Peele talks about it. He says for white people it's horrifying, it's the worst version of themselves and it's terrifying. Whereas for black people it's a comedy because that's the shit you think about from that white people could do all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just it's such a multi-layered film that way. And it means so much to so many different people in so many different ways, and it's making so many different social points that I just really thought I'm very happy to say that was the best film of the year.
I'll give it that as well. So.
Cool.
We've actually decided the best film of the year, Get Out.
Get Out, when's it?
I can't wait for it to come out in the Oscars, rather, to see if it actually gets on top.
Yeah, although I really do hope it wasn't in last year's and it just didn't really get anywhere, because there is a bit of me that thinks that could be the case. But
it was March.
Daniel Kaluuya was great.
So, yeah.
And he was in he's another British guy. Stuff. There was a bit of a thing against him. Do you remember Samuel L. Jackson said, "Why is an English guy playing it?" Which is an interesting debate.
Which is the first time I've always kind of thought about Samuel L. Jackson telling him to shut the fuck up, because it's just an actor at the end of the day.
Although if I was an American actor, even think about Spider-Man, the last 2 have been English, I'd be a bit pissed off if I was an American actor now, because it feels like everything's going to British kids. Even the girl from Stranger Things she's English, isn't she? That Millie Bobby something.
Yeah.
She's just everybody. It feels like of the big names in the cinema now who are going to be the big things over the next 10 years. Jack O'Connell. I'm fine with it. From an American point of view, I can see why it'd be irritating.
Yeah.
But we're just better at it. Eat it. Eat it.
Is that how you want
That's my point. That's my message to Samuel L. Jackson. Eat it.
Eat it.
Don't find me. Because I don't care how old you are. You could grind me into a pulp.
Dill B Sam.
It would be like a McGregor Mayweather thing. Just a one-off fucking spectacle fight.
Hey, I've got a lot of publicity for next year. That'd be
I
great.
don't know how much money I'd be bringing in on that side, but fair enough.
I'd back you.
I'll just tire him out.
Yeah, exactly.
Flee around the ring.
Do you want to do a quick little thing about series this year, or do you want to leave it?
I'm not sure. I can't really think of it. There's been a lot of good TV series, but not much specifics coming to mind. Maybe we'll give that a little think before the next one and do like a little roundup,
Yeah.
something like that.
We'll have stuff with us.
Because we could have done like a whole like which actor of the year type thing, but I don't know if we want. I'd want to think about that. I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. We'll leave that.
We'll leave it. It's fine. We've
We've
talked.
talked.
We've talked it all.
Don't leave it there.
Yeah. that'll-
Okay. I don't have my outro.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
Blag it.
Blag it.
Blag
All right. Well, thank you very much for listening, especially if you got this far into Tripod Talk. We do
Yep.
appreciate all the time that you spend listening to us, if you do. If you want to check us out, head over to wehaveatripod.com. That'll be doing. I say that every week, but it will be done.
It will be done.
It will be done. Also, check out all the other stuff that we do on the YouTube channel, including all the old series we used to do. We're going to be doing new series soon. Can't wait to do that, and also the royalty-free stuff if you're a content creator. Head over to patreon.com if you want to become a patron of What Pictures to help us out.
Nice. Is he gonna forget?
No,
has
follow
he
us on
got?
social media.
Oh.
We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're not going to be on Instagram soon. Maybe a couple of other things.
Oh really?
Might be dropping off here and there, but we're going to be sorting that out soon.
Yep.
My name's Matt Lidster.
Also SoundCloud.
Also SoundCloud.
Yeah, you've got one. My name's
I gotta show you
Adorable.
some stats about that.
Ooh,
That's been
stats.
going through the roof.
Ooh, stats. I
Stats,
love
stats.
stats.
I know
I
you
do
love
some numbers
stats.
now. Matt loves comics. I love numbers.
There we go. We're a dream team.
Yeah, cool.
I'm Matt Lidster,
I'm Adele Anwar.
and we've been Tripod Talk without our Sophia. She'll be back next week.
Yep. She says she misses you.
Maybe not next week. I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We'll see.
She's got no tonsils.
Yeah.
She got big old holes in her head. Jesus. No, she's
And the year ends.
Yeah, and that's it. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Oh yeah, it could be coming out on New Year, so.
Oh, could it?
Maybe.
Excited.
Yeah, if I get it done in time, I probably won't.
Probably not.
Probably
Nah,
not.
don't pressure yourself.
Yeah.
Get drunk.
Yeah.
That's what New Year's is all about.
Oh, alright. See ya.
Everyone's not drunk. Bye.